Hi all, Bill Greenberg with PhoneScholar.com. Today is Wednesday, June 16th. Still a little bit under the weather, so please bear with me if my voice seems raspy or something to that effect. I think it's moving down into my chest. So here's a summary of what's on the website today. Guitar Hero for iPhone app reviewed. There's two videos on there of the person playing the Guitar Hero on the iPhone. Looks pretty cool. For those of you who are Guitar Hero fans, I think you'll really enjoy this. Obviously, it's a lot different than playing the actual instruments. However, if you're used to playing games on the iPhone, then it'll be good for you. $2.99. At the bottom of the article, I do have a direct link to the download website for that. Just to let you know, it comes with the following songs for the $2.99 download: Queen, We Are the Champions, Rise Against Savior, Rolling Stones, Paint It Black, Vampire Weekend, Cousins, Weezer, Say It Isn't So, and White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. Now, there's no individual downloads of songs, which is one of the cons against it, but you can buy songs in bundles of 3 for $1.99 extra. And if you take a look, it'll show you what the themes of the downloads are. So take a look at that. For those of you who are gamers on the iPhone, I think you'll really enjoy it. San Francisco passes cell phone radiation law. And of course, if something like that's going to be passed, it's going to be in San Francisco first. Now, the drawback with a law like this, and what the law is stating, is that it doesn't say on the article when it goes into effect, but what it's stating is, just like with food packaging, and the restaurants now have to show nutritional information, the retailers have to show the radiation, the watts per kilogram, on the somewhere publicly on probably the phone card or the price card for the phone. Now, it can tend to be a little bit confusing. Just to let you know that 1.6 watts per kilogram is the maximum any of these phones can have to begin with, based on FCC guidelines. And the question is, if one phone shows 1.2 watts per kilogram and one shows 1.3 watts per kilogram, is that really going to make the 1.2 that much safer? Well, seeing that there's still no conclusive study as to whether cell phone radiation given off by cell phone causes any damage whatsoever, and in fact there's been more studies saying that it doesn't, or there's no conclusive evidence that it does. This could be confusing for consumers, so it could be a little misleading. Please be careful with that. Hopefully the people in the stores will be well educated to give you that. In my opinion, I've been told that the radiation that comes out from a microwave oven, they should put labels on for that, and maybe they do. Maybe it's on the back of my microwave oven. I've never seen it, but I was told that if you ever saw something like that, you'd probably never want to use your microwave oven again. So take that for what it is. The fastest mobile networks for 2010. PC World did a study in 18 cities, from Boise to Miami, that most of the major cities also, LA, New York. They did Philadelphia and Vegas, but they had to throw them out, they said, due to technical difficulties. But basically what it said is AT&T is telling the truth. They do have basically the fastest network throughout the country. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the best, and I'm not saying they're the worst, I'm not saying that. They are the fastest. Now, also remember, this was strictly mobile internet. This had nothing to do with voice whatsoever. No drop calls, no anything, just mobile internet, and AT&T was the fastest. Now, they weren't the most consistent, which is, in most people's opinion, that's the most important thing, because their HSPA 7.2, which is their data system, which is as close to a 3.5G. You've heard 3G, you've heard 4G. The HSPA is the best way to describe it. That's not technically correct, but that's the best way to describe it, is a 3.5G is faster than, let's say, Verizon 3G. That's true. And both AT&T and Verizon showed very poor consistency compared to the other ones that were tested, which were AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint 3G, Sprint 4G, and Cricket. And those two big companies showed less consistency, and truly that's because they have the most usage on there, so there's going to be less consistency. There's more people using it at the same time, and it's going to slow down the system. And that's what the 4G is supposed to get rid of completely. And the consistency on the Sprint 4G was pretty good, but again, the overall ratings, in fact, in a lot of areas where the Sprint 4G and the AT&T, where the AT&T was still faster. So check out the charts. There's little things for each area of the country, and I think you'll like the article. Lastly, free phones. The free phones, not free software at T-Mobile, and I've announced, and it's been announced, and I've reported that they are definitely doing the free phones at T-Mobile this Saturday, but something very, very careful to be careful of. The phones, number one, I still haven't gotten confirmation whether there's rebates or not. I don't think there is. But remember, there is a $35 activation fee per phone, and you will pay sales tax based on the retail price of the phone. That is basically the law here in California and across most of the country. Now, each individual areas, countries, or stores or cities may change the tax laws, so that's something you do have to check out if you're looking across the country. I know in the Los Angeles metro area and in Southern California or in California, that is a law, and most places do require that you will pay full tax on the full retail value of the phone, which something like the Garmin phone or the Slide could be a $400 or $500 retail value that you're going to pay tax on. So please be careful of that. There's still going to be some costs, and you still have to check out the pricing plans, even though T-Mobile can tend to be less expensive than some of the other ones. If you start adding the data plans, if you're getting the free, if you get go after 5 free Garmin phones or 5 free MyTouch Slides, you're going to have to pay data plans for all of those, and it's going to get very, very expensive on a monthly. So it's don't get me wrong, it's a tremendous, tremendous promotion, and everybody can get up to 5 phones, but just be careful when you go out there. Take a look at the article. That'll give you some more information. Under categories, under T-Mobile again, T-Mobile rolls out faster wireless internet in LA and 24 other cities. They're rolling out their HSPA Plus in Los Angeles and 24 other cities. Now, when I was working for Verizon, everybody always asks me, a lot of people ask me, why is Los Angeles one of the last places to get these new upgrades for services and for networks and things like that? And I directly asked that one time of a Verizon engineer who works on cell sites and things like that, and he basically told me, since Los Angeles has the highest usage per square inch of cell phone areas, it takes so long to build out the network to do these things that's one of the reasons why Los Angeles is last, is because it just takes a long time to make sure that the system's not going to crash consistently with so much usage. This is from an engineer. This is not mine. So for those of you out there that are saying I'm completely wrong and nuts, feel free to give me feedback and make comments on that. But this is what I've gotten from a Verizon engineer who builds cell sites. So that's one of the reasons why. Sprint in the article has announced that 4G is coming to LA also sometime in the near future, but we don't know when. That'll be a great thing. Under BlackBerry, opinion, make it or break it time for RIM, and this is absolutely true. RIM, there's been a rumor of the BlackBerry Torch, which is supposedly a touchscreen slider phone, which would be a first for BlackBerry. And basically the article talks about the fact that they've been really passing technology on the consumer side. They're still the second largest phone manufacturer behind Nokia for business phones, but they really need to, which I'm sure they're working on, they need to step up their game, their OS system, and get into what everything else is going on. Otherwise, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, and that's probably true, and I'm sure they have meetings about that all the time. So anyway, have a great Wednesday. Hopefully I will be feeling better tomorrow. Going back to the trainer tomorrow, so it should be better. And for everything else, for anything you need, www.phonescholar.com. See you tomorrow.